Welcome to Of Men, For Men. Here we'll discuss issues pertaining to the modern day man. Subjects like health, wealth, lifestyle, gear, and relationships. So join me as we dive into the world of men, for men. Hello, and welcome to the Of Men, For Men podcast. I am your host, James Rodney Lemax. Yeah. All right. Come on, That's right. Come on in. Kick back, relax. Grab yourself a cool one. All right, how's everybody doing? Hope you're all well. Hope your friends, your family, your loved ones are doing good. Hope you're taking care of yourself. Starting off the new year right. Kind of getting into the groove of things. You know, a lot of things going on, a lot of things happening. I'm going to talk about a subject here. I've talked about it before, but ain't no reason not to go over it again in a different way, at a different angle. I see my last episode, like I said, I don't try to beat everybody up with politics. I don't want this to be a political podcast. There's plenty of that to go around. But, I do dip my toe in there from time to time because it is pertinent and it does affect you as a man, what's going on around you, political arenas. It's going to influence, what's happening in this world, and that's going to influence on how you react to what's happening in this world. So, we have to talk about it, and that's fine. But I tell you what, that sucker took off. I'm like, damn. I don't know if it was popular or people just, what they call hate listening or hate following or trolling, or I don't know. Oh, it's crazy. That sucker took off. Like, damn. Of course, now it's a little more animated now because, to me, I'm a little passionate, about that kind of stuff. It means something to me. And, so I was a little bit more colorful with the language, of course, which, I usually try to keep it PG-13, I guess. But that was definitely rated R. I dropped a few F-bombs and all kind of other stuff. So, anybody that listens to the podcast on a regular basis know that, that one was a little bit more colorful. But that's okay, You need a little break. You need a little something different, You can't be listening to the same old boring monotone stuff all the time, That gets old. You got to have a little something, to bring it in every once in a while. Okay, all right, yeah, okay. So that was interesting to me that one just took off so quickly. As far as listens, downloads, what have you. There might be some, something come up here in the near future. I'll let you know. I don't want to let the cat out the bag, but I was contacted about an interview. I'll just put it that way. And, I'm not really set up to do interviews per se. But I could have that conversation and then parlay that conversation into a podcast, and then we could go from there. But again, I don't want to speak beforehand. But we'll see what happens. hopefully that take place. I think that would be interesting. I wanted to talk. I originally kind of want to talk about stoicism. About being stoic, controlling yourself, controlling your emotions, controlling how you react to things. But then I kind of veered away, and I want to talk about aloneness. And again, that could be part of stoicism. Being alone, how do you do that? If you figured out how to be happy and how to be alone, then you figured out life, brother. Because even when you're in a relationship, you're still alone. You're still there with yourself and your thoughts. So I want to talk about aloneness. A lot of people look at it as a negative, as somehow there's, if you don't have a partner, if you don't have a girlfriend, boyfriend, somebody you're dating, if you're not out there on the scene, in the marketplace, showing off your wares and all this kind of stuff, that somehow that makes you less of a person. Why isn't, he with somebody? Why doesn't he have, a girlfriend or a wife or whatever? And that's really not the case. That doesn't diminish you as a human being or as a man at all. If anything, that can prove that you're more of that, because you know how to be alone. You don't need somebody. You don't have to have somebody there. It's like these women running around, all, I'm strong and independent woman, and then they go standing around each other clapping, oh yeah, she's stunning and brave. But then again, she's still relying on men. She's got a circle around her of men that'll do all kind of shit for her at a drop of a hat. Simps. Friend zone dudes. Wannabes, guys, they want to be in them pants, but they ain't gonna get in them. But she gonna keep them around. She gonna keep them close, And then when they do something for her, oh, you're a good little boy. You're such a good man. And they keep hoping that, if they just do enough, or they, oh, she'll see that I'm a good man. I'm a good man. That's not gonna happen. She using you from Jump Street. You simping. You gumping is what the new term is. It was at Coach Greg Adams, gumping. Like Forrest Gump, you gumping. Oh, Jenny gumped him. He got gumped. Oh Lord. But being alone is not a bad thing. I mean, that's a time where you can focus on yourself, do what you need to do, get your priorities straight, be introspective, hash out what you need to hash out. There's nothing wrong with being by yourself, with being a single male, with being a bachelor or a divorcee and not remarrying. Hell, you've already learned your lesson. Screw that. I ain't going back to that. See, I was slow. I had to go back a couple times. See, I had to go back, because when you're born and raised that way, that train of thought, you think that's what you're supposed to do, and the times, have changed now, and everybody's done learn, you risking everything. And I did. Risked it, lost it, regained it. Now I have stuff that I never had when I was married. They're all material things, but still, it's things I was never able to have when I was married, had kids, or got divorced and lost all that stuff, and then I had nothing, You lose yourself. You lose yourself in relationships because, you're constantly negotiating, you're constantly having to give up stuff, especially you as the man. You're supposed to make sacrifices. You're supposed to protect and provide. So that means you come last. She comes and then the children. And in her world, she'll put them kids first, then herself, and then you. You gonna be last, bruh. You gonna be last. You gonna be bottom on a totem pole. So know that going in. That's why I say don't date single women with kids. Because you just peeing in the wind. You'll never be her priority. You can forget that. You ain't even gonna get sloppy seconds. You're gonna get thirds or fourths. She gonna put them kids, grandkids, and if they got grandkids, then it just compounds the whole damn thing. So learn how to be alone, I'm not saying, MGTOW. I mean, that we can do a podcast on that, men going their own way. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, but don't prioritize being in a relationship or think that you're less than because you're not in a relationship. Actually, you're showing your power. You know what I'm saying? You're showing your superpower. You don't have to have somebody standing by your side to validate you, to make you feel good about yourself, for approval. You don't need that. And you don't need other people's approval. You do what you need to do on your time, when you feel like doing it, how you feel like doing it, when you feel like doing it. Focus on you. You can take those classes, you can take those courses, you can get those certificates, those degrees, what have you. Learn those skills, get a new job, and you're not having to risk relationships, or family in the process because it's just you. There's less risk, when it's just you. You're not putting anybody else at risk. A lot can get done when you're by yourself. But society wants you to think that, you have to be coupled up with somebody for you to be whole. You're whole all by yourself. You don't have to have somebody. You see people out there like that. I got an ex-wife that's like that. She's codependent. She has to have somebody else. And every relationship she gets involved with is trash, from straight Jump Street. Because, she don't have all her stuff together. And that's okay, but she shouldn't be jumping in and out of relationships. She wants to be married. She wants to be kept. She wants somebody to take care of her, But, she probably one of the last people to be in a relationship, to be honest. There's lots of women like that. She ain't the only one. I'm not bagging on her. She's not a bad human being. She's not a bad person. But having to be in a relationship. I had a buddy like that many, many years ago. He was constantly, looking for some girlfriend. He was constantly, oh, look at that girl. Look at her. And I'd be like, bro, just, quit looking all the time. I said, just go out, have a good time, be yourself, enjoy what you're doing, be happy, and don't be constantly on the prowl, You're almost like a perv, just, and then enjoy yourself. If females will see that, and they'll be attracted to that, and then they'll come up to you. They'll want to talk to you. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. You sitting alone by yourself, enjoying yourself, having a good time. Not being a perv, not being on the prowl, eyeballing, and then you have some female walk up to you and start talking to you. You know, they're interested in you. What makes, hey, this guy's different. What's up with them? And of course, if you're looking the part, you're looking good, you're feeling good, you're putting out the positive waves. It all works out. You don't have to be out there, trying to run down a relationship all the time. You're wasting a lot of time and energy, and money. Best thing to do, man, is focus on yourself most of the time. Stay in your lane, mind your own business, focus on yourself. And if you run into somebody, if you meet a gal you think you might be interested in, then start up a conversation, chat her up, and get get that number, get them digits, as they say. And then see where it goes from there. But you can't predicate your happiness on being in a relationship, because relationships are ultimately going to bring, they might bring you some happiness, but they're also going to bring you a lot of pain. Because you make yourself vulnerable when you're in relationships, and those are the people that are going to hurt you, the ones that are closest to you. It's not some jerk in the parking lot and stole your parking spot. It's the person closest to you that you hold near and dear, that you love the most. That's the one that's going to stab that knife right in your back, or at least you're going to feel like they did. That's the one that's going to hurt you the most, because you're vulnerable. You've made yourself vulnerable to them, and that's what being in a relationship does. If you want to be happy, you're not going to find happiness in a relationship necessarily. There will be some happiness in there. There's ups and downs, right? But that's not the key to happiness. Everybody knows, happiness is in motorcycles and sports cars. No. Material things ain't gonna make you happy. That's a temporary high. But you have to find that true happiness in and of yourself, within yourself, of yourself, and be happy with yourself and who you are as a person, as a human being. And then you can just be you. You can just be alone, do your thing, be happy about it, and then, if that relationship comes along, then you're fine with it. And you won't be willing to put up with no stuff, because you've been alone. You know what it's like to be alone. And the longer you're alone, the harder it is going to be for that female to, some guys get desperate though. They'll simp, I know. But if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it'll be harder. The longer you stay alone, the harder it'll be for a woman to get in, because you're not going to be wanting to give up all that peace and quiet. You're like, oh hell no. And you're not going to be wanting to make yourself vulnerable, to their wiles, so to speak. You're going to be wanting to focus on you and do you. Focus on you and do you. You reach a certain level when you don't care what other people think about you, whether you're alone or in a relationship or what have you. So just focus on yourself, gentlemen. Take care of yourselves. Most of all, be honest, be true, and that's what I try to do here on the podcast when we're having these conversations. You can tell, I listened back to my first episode the other day, and it was, you could tell, I wasn't as comfortable speaking into this microphone as I am now, but I was still me. I was still me. I wasn't any different. I was still being me, being a genuine person. I wasn't pretending to be somebody else, right? I wasn't trying to be, some personality, behind the microphone, trying to be somebody. I was just being myself, and you could tell, I was learning, and like I said, hell, we in year 3 now. So, of course, I'm much more comfortable doing this. I'm much more comfortable behind the microphone. I got a lot more confidence in myself, and I can sit here and talk for 20 minutes, off the top of my head. I don't need, necessarily, the only time, I write stuff down or is when I want to try and stay on topic. And I can pretty much do that anyway, but, sometimes I have bullet points that I definitely want to reach or make sure that I get across and I don't get lost in the mix. Or I'm, using the, using the laptop, to read off an article, to share an article or a story with you guys, That was about the only times I use any kind of aids. Otherwise, this is just a free flow. This is a riff, We're just having a conversation like you would, sitting in a restaurant or in a bar, having a beer together. That's why I tell you, come on in, kick back, relax, grab yourself a cool one. That's what we're doing. We having informal conversations here, informal chats, and I'm just throwing stuff out there, and I want you guys to, make of it what you will. Again, this is cathartic to me. I do get something out of it. There's definitely no money involved in this. Unlike Joe Rogan, $100 million. I'd like that. I'd like to have a little piece of that. But it's cathartic. It's beneficial for me, and hopefully it's beneficial for you. Like I said, make of it what you will. Take what you will and throw away the rest. I don't claim to be a professional. I don't give out medical advice. We're having conversations of men for men, and that's what we're doing. All right, gentlemen, I bored you long enough. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience. Check out the social media sites, the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the Gab, the Parlor, and the locals. Check out the website, podpage.com/ofmenformen, podpage.com/ofmenformen. And if you'd like to support the podcast, if I've given you anything worthy, you can do so with the link below wherever you're listening. All right. Thanks again, gentlemen. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your listenership. I have been James Rodney Lemax, and you have been great. Yeah. This will be a weekly podcast. You can find it on the Anchor app and anywhere podcasts are available. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. I look forward to seeing you there.